Today we're looking at the Savage Model 12 FV that I bought at Cabela's recently. It was $319 on sale, normally $419. It's a heavy barreled varmint style rifle. Just a good cheap entry level for varmint or tactical shooting, and chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. Alright, so this is just a quick overview. We've got this Savage Model 12 FV. It's a Cabela's special. Brand new, haven't pulled the stickers off of it. All I've done to it is mount this worn 20 MOA rail on it. You can see it's 6.5 Creedmoor. 26-inch heavy barrel. Good basic starter varmint tactical rifle. Got the oversized bolt knob. Pretty good, solid so far. Haven't shot it yet, but just messing with it, feeling of it. Looks alright. Only issue I encountered was this very front hole right here, which is a blind hole, meaning that it doesn't go all the way through. Had some blasting media stuck in the hole, and I had to dig that out and just kind of try to clean the threads out before I put the rail on there. But just kind of a first look. This was $319 on sale at Cabela's, and let me stand it up here where you can get a better look at it. So I've got my scope here that I want to mount on my Model 12, and this is basically just a first focal plane 4x16 Vortex Viper. I don't know what model. I actually bought this used from a guy I used to work with. Shout out to Ty if you see this. It's your scope. Formerly your scope. Been a really good scope. Had it mounted on an AR. Super accurate setup. Hoping this will be the same. Just kind of for reference. Let's see if we can get a look through the scope here. So it's a first focal plane. That's on 4 power. So what I ran into though is I have 30mm high rings, and the high rings combined with a 20 MOA rail make the stock pretty much unusable in factory form. So my first idea was I have a Hornady cheek rest off of another rifle that I'm not shooting much anymore. Just basically good old Hornady cheek rest, straps on there. Works pretty good, nice soft face rest. Not enough for this rifle. The scope's going to be mounted too high. I don't want to spend a bunch of money, so I'm trying to not have to go out and get stuff that I don't already have. So my next option is I'm making currently a cheek riser out of Kydex. You can see I've got some holes laid out there and drilled. Alright, so I've got my holes opened up. I'm going to clean those up a little bit. Got, if you can see it there, some marks laid out from the holes there, just to try to get this marked out on our stock here. I'm going to drill those, and I'm actually going to tap the plastic just to see how well it holds up. But it'll probably end up with a through bolt on it. But I think for now we're just going to tap it and see how it works. Just give you a little overview of the tools I'm using here. Some really cheap drill bits. These are it's a Drill Index. It's Harbor Freight. I don't know if it's Pittsburgh or one of their other house brands, but it's Harbor Freight. Works pretty good for this. I'm just drilling plastic. Works good in aluminum. If you don't push it hard, it'll even do steel. The Harbor Freight tap set. I am tapping these holes in the plastic. And probably end up a through bolt, but I wanted to try it. I did do everything, drill, tap, everything with a cordless drill. Do it a lot at work. Kind of do a lot of that for work, and it's one of those things with a good tap. I can do it with steel. This one maybe aluminum with this tap set, but typically a good tap is going to be a 2 flute in an M6 by 1.0, which is what I'm using, and that is a 3 flute tap. Anyway, just used shears to cut this. Just cheap scissors, heavy kind of scissors, but cheap. And I actually used a belt sander to knock the edges off of this. Kind of give it the nice round edges. Just using this little knife here. A rusty homemade knife, but just using the knife to knock the burrs out of the edges of the holes. And we're about to check it and see how it works. Got it bolted on, got the scope mounted up on it, and it actually lines up pretty nice. Seems to work well. Gives you a good cheek weld. Could be a little more adjustable. I'm probably going to get some new bolts for this. This is just some junk we had at work that they were throwing away. You can see some of them are a little bit crusty and they're mismatched, which doesn't matter for my purposes, but it would be good, you know. The most important thing is looking cool, so it'd be good if they all matched. Maybe had some washers on there too, but I'm gonna say if you've got all the tools, this is probably the cheapest cheek rest you can do, other than maybe some duct tape and some foam or something. Don't have a lot in this. Had the scope on another gun. Say gun was cheap, had gift cards, had a rebate. If it'd been any cheaper, they would have had to give me money before I left the store. So really good deal. Just got to get it bore sighted, get it shot, see how it likes different ammo, and get to testing it. Thanks for watching. Join us next time when we'll be bore sighting and seeing what the gun does on paper. Until then, keep your powder dry.